Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. This is GT Sport Season 2, Round 9 here at the Circuit de la Sarthe, better known of course as Le Mans, and we are here with 5 minutes to go until the race is due to begin. I of course am James Head 14. Good to see a few new faces here as well for the GT Sport Championship, proving ever popular here on a Wednesday night, and of course we will be going on for another season in a couple of weeks time, probably starting around January I would imagine. Of course we are here at Circuit de la Sarthe. Let's have a look then at some of the drivers that are out on track currently, or Crafty currently out on track, and you will be surprised as to see who has set the fastest lap currently in the lobby. Yes, that was me. A 4-minute .456. That was on a set of soft compound of tyre, and that is what we're probably going to be looking for the fastest lap of the race, I would imagine, as we come into tonight. As I say, a few new drivers here tonight. I'll come on to them in just a moment, but the point at the moment is as follows. V5HRL leads the way on 151 points, finishing third in Suzuka last week. Dan in second, taking that win on 138 points. It is still so tight with 3, possibly 4 races to go to the end of the season. Circuit de la Sarthe, then we've got Nürburgring next week, and then we will have possible additions of Spa and Laguna Seca, which will be due out probably next month, I would imagine. So V5HRL leads the championship. Dan in second, as I say. QVR Game Boys, who is having some issues at the minute with trying to get into the lobby, he is in third on 109 points. QVR Campbell in fourth on 89 points. McDutchface is in fifth. He's not out on track at the moment. McDutchface is fifth on 74 points. Good fourth place for him in Suzuka. Sixth is Daka on 56 points. Good to see the Brit out on track. He is coming towards the end of his outlap here. So Ibo is in seventh. There he is in the pits. In 7th on 54 points. Good consistent results. He is just 2 points off Daka. Bullet Boy is in 8th on 25 points. Don't think he's here yet. Or Crafty is in 9th. There he is out on track on 24 points. We've got McLaren Fan, better known as Breadbank of course, to you guys in the Discord. He's on 8 points in 10th. And then Ton Albanak in 11th on 6 points. We've also got a few new drivers, as I say, here tonight. And those are the new drivers here. You might see a couple of them from League of Europe Division 1s, 2 and 3 respectively. We have got Eloise Mark, Eloise Nico and VRT Schiaparelli, who I've of course got the privilege of commentating on League of Europe Division 1, and I look forward to the last 2 races of the season coming up at the end of the season, and I will confirm that I'm going to be there once again next season, leading the line on a Saturday night for Division 1 next season. Of course, we are here at Circuit de la Sarthe, better known as Le Mans, hosting the Le Mans 24 Hours, and famous for corners like the Dunlop Curve, the Mulsanne Straight, and Indianapolis, that very tight left-hander within the first few sectors, Porsche Curve, Ford Chicane. You'll see which corners are which when we go on track very shortly indeed. As I say, I'm going to be spectating this once again. There's McDutchface just on track. As I say, a couple of drivers currently having issues joining the joining from through GT Sport at the moment. I'm not sure if there's any maintenance going on. I don't think there is. The new update is out tomorrow, so I may remind everyone that the new update does come out tomorrow, and update it. Update your applications, because copying takes a lot longer than the update, trust me, honestly. Larkin Chinlin saying good luck to all. Good evening to Larkin in the comment section. Hopefully you're having a good night so far, and it is about to, of course, get even better for League of Europe GT3 series with a minute to go until we are scheduled to get underway. I'm just going to check the Discord to see what is going on with some of the guys out on track. Literally everything is working. Anything that always fixes those bugs doesn't work now even. So Game Boy's having trouble to get into the lobby. It is going to be quite a shame if he doesn't get into the lobby, I've got to be honest. Maybe delay the start by 5 minutes. I am here, of course, for the long run of 60 minutes for you guys to commentate through. That is all Crafty off track, I do believe. just in behind there. That is not Overcrafty off track. That is Eloise Nico in the classic 1998 McLaren livery there. In the West McLaren livery, famously where Mika Hakkinen, of course, took the Grand Prix wins in the late 90s. Beautiful looking livery, and of course a mainstay of the McLaren, and he is in the McLaren GT3 car there as well. So a good choice and a good livery there, I've got to admit. VRT Schiaparelli also in, running a plain-like livery at the minute. He's in the Audi R8 here tonight, the German with a slowdown penalty of 2.7 seconds. And we have also got another new driver in who mistakes me, Eloise Mark, but he's not out on track at the moment. I've been told that is, I've seen this livery, and if he is running the livery that I think he might be, where you guys are really in for a big shock, honestly. It is pink to the brim. Pink to the brim, that is all I'm going to say. If that is the car that he's running, then it takes weirdness to a whole new level, I've got to admit. Let's have a look. It won't let me without closing the lobby. Yeah, obviously if the lobby does close, then the new lobby, and that is what has happened. I think we are going to be, we're going to be restarting the lobby. So you will see my graphics currently here. We'll see the list, and I will give you a few facts actually about Le Mans. If you just give me a moment, of course. Le Mans 24 Hours hosted round here. Next year's dates, 13th and 14th of June, and it has been held since 1923 near the town of Le Mans in France, and is considered one of the most prestigious automobile races within the world, and forms the triple crown of motorsport, with winning the Indianapolis Grand Prix, the Indianapolis 500 I should say, and the Monaco Grand Prix. And as I say, very famous. The FIA World Endurance Championship, of course, ends here every single year. Silverstone part of that. There's a few new tracks this year, if I recall my mind. We should get the new lobby up very shortly indeed. And there, in fact, is the new lobby just opened up nicely. So we will get into that and get cracking with the session. Does that mean a reduced length, says Kieran Gifford? That is Overcrafty there in the Discord. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we'll go a full 60 minutes. It's only a couple of minutes late, so I would expect a full 60 minutes race. Prepare for a full 60 minutes race. That is the best thing we can do currently at this stage, of course. And I will, of course, tune in to the comment section throughout tonight. Schiaparelli has joined with an S. That is nice. QBL Campbell in, which is good to see. Everyone else is joining in now, so we should be getting going, as I say, very shortly indeed. And a good attendance and a bit of self-promotion there from Sabo. Yeah, do go and visit the website f1leagueofeurope.wordpress.com. Some great things on there, including F1 standings, GT Sports standings on there as well, and you will get a preview of every single race as well, I do believe, for the GT Sports series. And of course, sign-ups will be opening soon. I've been assured they're going to be open within the next couple of weeks. I'm assuming they'll be open in the next couple of weeks. We're not going to be restarting again, is the gist of thingy. Why didn't you go with an open lobby? Yeah, plenty of people can join through an open lobby. Trust me, we've made that mistake before in my other league that we run in, and honestly, it is probably the worst thing you can do. Have an open lobby for a league race. Random people joining left, right and centre. It's not the greatest thing in the world. But we are here, of course, at Circuit de la Sarthe. 60 minutes endurance race. Probably about to begin. Everyone will get onto the track, or at least into the pit lane, and then we'll begin, of course. And under strict instructions, remember to stick on a set of medium or hard compounder tyres. You have to put on the medium or hard compounder tyres at least once in this race. It is mandatory to put up that, of course. Everyone else connecting fine, and Game Boys, it seems that he is the only one possibly that is having a trouble joining the session. The room ID is in as well. Nico is coming in very shortly indeed, I do believe, as well. Good attendance, I've got to admit, tonight for League of Europe. This is a lot of me rambling on at the minute, but trust me, once we get going, you will hear me in full and fine voice once again. And of course, as I say, we are here for League of Europe GT Sport round 9 of the championship. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Get ready for Breadbang. Let's get that hashtag trending on Twitter, especially through League of Europe channels as well. I'm sad I can't make the rest today, but the bread puns can make a comeback soon. Hopefully you'll be back next week, and you don't want to be sliced out on track this week. Certainly with it being Le Mans, you don't want to be sliced. You want to be diced instead. That is terrible. That is terrible. That's probably the worst bread joke I think I've ever done. But loving this music. Yeah, the music quite good. That is within the lobby, of course. We will, of course, not experience it. The drivers will have the music out on track, which is a full 60 minutes. Some drivers may choose to, obviously, listen to other things that are going on, like Spotify maybe. Have Spotify run in the background there, listen to their own playlist during GT Sport. As I say, we should be getting going, and that is the perfect livery, guys. Perfect livery. A big supporter of My Little Pony is Eloise Mark, and he is representing all the gays out there. This is brilliant. This is absolutely, that's the best livery I think I've ever seen. That is the best livery I think I've ever seen. Honestly, absolutely fantastic. We'll get a better look at that when, of course, we go out the track. We should be starting, as I say, very shortly indeed. We could try and get ILRT Dan to horse. That is what the rumour is now going around within the Discord. The messages going around within Discord, so I'll try and keep you guys updated with what is going on. We will, of course, get this race started, and we will get that underway very shortly indeed. Yeah, it only appears to me Game Boys and Nico can't join. We will have 11 drivers if they do join, which is fantastic. We've got 9 drivers, which is still a good attendance. We've got, as I say, Chapelelli in, Mark in for the first time this season. And Chapelelli, I think, is going to be really interesting. If he can put that F1 form to bed and really hammer home here in the GT3s, he could be a bit of a sneaky contender for the win, I think. Judging, if you've seen Division 1 with me on a Saturday night, you will have seen his pace. And don't get me wrong, Chapelelli is a great driver, and I think he is probably going to excel in that Audi R8 car. Not necessarily made for the track. I tend to find that more higher speed cars actually find this track a bit better. Ones that can corner good as well, not like my Ford Mustang, because it is quite it's like a tractor going round sometimes. Mark's livery is the greatest paint scheme in all sports ever. Give that man the championship. We can't give him an extra point for luck, sadly. Or Crafty is getting in some times out on track. He is in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. He is on a set of medium compound of tyres. As I say, the 3 compound of tyres available here are the softs, mediums and the hards. And I think I'm under the impression that ILRT Dan is going to be setting up a new lobby, and I haven't got him added on my friends list. So I'm going to just briefly do that. Let me have a look. I do apologise. I don't want to invite people into the party. Let's go and add him then on my friends list. That'll be better, and then I can obviously access through the lobby. And if you don't have ILRT Dan on your friends list, of course, add him now, because you don't want to miss out on the race. That's the best thing to do. I think it is that, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Right, friend request has been sent to him, and we should get underway, as I say, very shortly indeed. My Renault is a straight line speed, and sometimes it handles well, or like a broom. Probably you don't want to be a broom out on track. Definitely not. You don't want to be broom thingy. But we are quick decision, and we are going to be starting late due to the nature of thingies. Dan has just added me there on my friends list, and you'll see that once we update the list, of course, it will come to play very soon indeed. So Dan is going to give us we're going to set up a new lobby. I do apologise, obviously, about these issues that we are having on GT Sport here tonight. It's quite prone, this game, to be honest, to not allowing certain people to allow into the lobby. It's either down to NAT type or down to the cache, possibly. And if drivers have cleared their cache, obviously the NAT is ruled out. It will be down to the NAT type that they are experiencing. Obviously, with us being a League of Europe, and with us having drivers from different nations, we are, of course, going to have differences, really, within the NAT type. And if your NAT type is on 2, then that is fine. You should be able to connect up to the lobby. Do a net-type connection test, though. It is important that you do that before. Dan has set up the lobby, so let's get straight back in and get the action underway very shortly indeed. People saying it should be reduced distance. I am not a fan of reduced distance, to be honest. You came here for 60 minutes. You've signed up for 60 minutes. Why not do the full hog? Why not have the 60 minutes worth of racing out on track? That is what I feel, and that's how I think we should go about things, because if we have one reduced race, then the rest of the season may as well be prone to a reduced race. If just coming from that point of view, I think it's much better. You've signed up for 60 minutes worth of racing. By God, you've got to do it. Come on. Man up. Man up, that's what I'm going to say. We have got Nico back into the session, which is good to see. Nico's back in the lobby. Hopefully Game Boys is able to change. Practice an endurance race, just changing in the settings there. Another new comment coming through. Let's do a full 24 hours instead. Well, yeah, we could do a 24 hours. So that's something we could host next year, maybe, for GT Sports? League of Europe? I wonder? That's an idea that I've had. There we go. And now we Le Mans 24 hours hosted the week before. Perfect. Be absolutely fantastic. I'll just have a look and see what is going on in this GT Sport chat. People saying put it to 50 minutes. I still think it should be 60 minutes. I'm just going to send this message. I'll be back in a minute. We are back, there we go. Game Boy's not sure if he is due in. He might have to miss out, sadly. Or Crafty not in either, so we are waiting for a couple of friend requests to come through. And then we will get underway. Again, do apologise about the late start time. We are having lobby issues at the minute. It's pretty much out of my range anyways. The guys trying to get this underway, of course, as soon as possible. Guys can practice out on track. By God, there's nobody out on track. People should be practicing, really, I think. Get a little bit of extra practice in, even if it's just a couple of corners or a couple of minutes practice. It does give you a long way to possibly getting a good result out on track. Nico saying, why is my car crashing into auto drive? Let's have a look and see. He has got the pit lane glitch. That is fantastic. He has got the pit lane glitch. Game Boys is in now, which is good to see. He has got the pit lane glitch, which means he will have to back out the lobby and restart his game. Yes, I know. That is the pit lane glitch, guys. There you go. You've seen it firsthand. Thing to see, by the way, on getting the pit crews here. Yeah, this is the pit lane glitch, though, that I'm trying to highlight on the stream. This is quite it's been like a problem like this for a bit, at least an hour, at least a year and a half now, and they still haven't actually fixed it within the code. So obviously we've got everyone out on track. There is another driver heading out, and we are having the grid order set by host, so we're just going to try and make up the time here. Game Boys and Ciappellelli, though, are out on track. So the Dutchman and the German both out on track. This gives you some action of how the guys are going to be doing as they attack the first couple of corners, because it's done off curve. And Nico coming and saying running the pool mechanics. If you just rejoin, then we'll get this race underway a whole lot sooner, honestly. But we have got action out on track. I'm going to focus on these guys. The guys obviously are putting in late practice here for the race, which is going to begin. Eventually it will begin. Game Boys is here with no problems at all. It is just Nico now that is having that problem again. It might be down to night type, it might be to thingy. Or Crafty needs to be added as well. Nico has left the room. He does have to restart his application as well for that pit lane glitch to recede, and then he comes back into the game and then it's all fine. Honestly, it's one problem after the other. We can't really get a lucky break here tonight, to be honest, in GT Sport. It's the first time for a few weeks that we've had this, actually. Nico has joined back in. Hopefully that pit lane glitch has now fixed itself. He will, however, have to do the thingy. But you really need to add the drivers out on track, whoever it is. I think we need to get this underway, get this started. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of angry people. Promised a race, me included, promised a race, and it doesn't happen. It's just a bit shameful, to be honest. But there we go. We can now see Mark's beautiful livery out on track, and let's go on board and have a whirl around. Look at the dancing unicorns there on the front. Absolutely fantastic livery. And Mark should be on the right-hand side of the track here, because it is a left-handed side corner coming up. Yeah, down into the second chicane, fighting the car under the brakes. This Ferrari 458 GT3 car, of course. But look at that livery. My Little Pony, unicorns. That is pure rainbows, unicorns, and everything else going on about it. Is Nico out on track? Yes, he is. We can now start. Or Crafty has joined in. We'll get the lobby set up. The set by Hulst, and then we'll get underway. Eventually, 16 minutes worth of racing still to come. As I say, I'm not in any rush. I can be here all night if needs be. But we will get underway very shortly indeed for League of Europe GT Sport, the GT3 series. There is Game Boys, there is Schiaparelli, Mark. Nico's safely out on track. Mac Dutchface is out on track. So is Sir Ibo, who is rolling backwards into the gravel, not in control of his car there. Dakar Dan, V5HOL, Campbell. And then we've also got Aura Crafty, who needs to join into the pit lane. We'll set up the Hulst, set the grid order by Hulst, and then we can get underway. Aura Crafty is now in to the pit lane, although we can't go on board with him for some reason, which is a bit of a strange one on me. We should, though. We'll just come out of spectate and then go back in, and there he is actually coming out of the pit. So we are now ready to go. We are now ready to go, and we will be starting very, very, very shortly indeed. It's probably about a minute or 2 minutes to go until we do start, as the lobby will be set by Hulst. It is, of course, reverse championship standings, which means the new drivers at the front will be at the front here tonight. The championship leader, which is V4HOL, he'll be starting from the back of the field. And here we go, with 10 seconds to go. I'm just going to turn and put my iPad on airplane mode, and we're going to get underway. 60 minutes worth of action. I'm only 20 minutes late, but it's not too bad. Too bad. At least it's not an hour or an hour and a half like my other league. Well, here we go. We have got a rolling start. And the beautiful pink unicorn car Veloe Mark is in second, Nico on top, Mark second, Schiaparelli third, or Crafty in fourth. So pretty much the three new drivers start off the first three positions. Or Crafty is in fourth, and he's in the championship standings in fourth. There is Abel, Dakar, Mac Dutchface, Campbell, Game Boys, Dan, and V5HOL. We're about to get underway for an hour's worth of action here in GT Sport at Circuit de la Sarthe, and that is not what you like to see at all. Nico has had a glitch coming off the start. This is going to mess up the start. This might have to be an aborted start here, and I think as well Game Boys is going backwards as well. This is unbelievable. We are underway, however. Whether this is going to be a start or not remains to be seen. Game Boys and Nico now need to leave the race. There is lobby, unfortunately they're having problems, so I think they should just back out and leave the rest to it. But Mark leads the way off the line, and we are underway for lap one. We are finally underway. Schiaparelli up the inside, Crafty, sorry, the inside of Schiaparelli gets him done, down through the Dunlop curve, and into turn one, very good indeed. Crafty is up to second, Schiaparelli down to third, Dakar Ibbo and Campbell right on the back. Dan and V5 have gone past Matt Dutchface, who's made a mistake coming out of the Dunlop curve actually. And Dan now beginning to hunt him down as a little bit of cones coming side-by-side action between Sir Ibbo and Campbell, and they stay as they are. Dakka's right on the back of Schiaparelli. He's got 5/10 slow down there, but he has slowed down slightly as they come through the right-hander, and I'll get my track map up to see where we are actually at on track. I think that was through Tertre Rouge, it was, and now we come down to the Arc Chicane. But look at the speed difference. Marcus picked up a 2.5 second penalty, which is probably for running wide more than anything else. Or Crafty right on the back. Of course, the two drivers still going around out on track. Nico and Game Boys will have to remove themselves from the race. This is a legal start. Or Crafty ran the outside of Mark though in the meantime and gets P1. Fantastic move into the first chicane. Nora Crafty, the Aston, is up to first position. Mark in second. Dakka now right on the back. QVR leading the way in third position. With Sebo fourth, Campbell in fifth. Schiaparelli has dropped down slightly from sixth position. Not carrying that form from Division 1. I am going to just briefly come out into spectate mode and then we will get underway once again. There we go. Dakka will go on board with Dakka as Mark is going to try and hunt down the inside line here. As we come through now, Mark or Crafty still holding their positions the same. Sable now up to fourth as a result of Schiaparelli dropping down. Campbell now side by side to the BMW and the Lexus doing side by side, and Campbell has got the move done down the inside through the second chicane on the exit of the second chicane through the Mulsanne kink, and now down to Mulsanne corner, which is the bottom of the straight here. But look at the speed of that Lexus. Sable right around the outside now, down into Mulsanne corner for the first time. About 4-minute lap round here, remember. And Aura Crafty holds the lead of the race. Sable holds fourth position around the outside. Schiaparelli serving a bit more of his slowdown penalty, and in fact he has served his slowdown. What I can gather, V5 Dan, Matt Dutchface. Game Boy still has to remove himself from track. He will take no further part, of course, in that race. It is going to prove quite costly. I think Ghosting will be on though. If he doesn't remove himself from the track, he might be getting himself a penalty as well, to be honest. Mark on the back of Aura Crafty, lunges it down the inside. That is a brave move through Indianapolis by Mark. Can he pull it off? He's lost the car slightly. Aura Crafty gets him back, says thank you very much, and Dakka's also got through as well. So the My Little Pony is now down to third, and now has pretty much got the tail between himself to try and get back onto the field. Campbell right on the back of Mark though. The BMW against the Ferrari here. As they run down the straight, I'm just going to turn up my engine sounds a little bit more. And Campbell right on the back of Mark, as we are only still on lap 1. Aura Crafty leading the way from Dakka in second. The slipstream not really that effective around this track. Anybody on a set of soft compound tyres, of course, will be struggling as Mark has gone off track. Mark has gone off track through the Porsche curves. So Mark has gone off through the Porsche curves. He's now down to the back of the field. Matt Dutchface has run wide through the Porsche curves as well. He makes a mistake, and it's now still Aura Crafty out in front with a QVR training behind Dakka and Campbell. And Dakka has pulled off a worldie of a move. Round the outside he goes. Fantastic stuff. People have got slow down penalties, but I can't see them for some reason. Campbell down the inside on Aura Crafty. QVR takes first and second. Look at this in behind. Sebo, Schiaparelli, and V5 HRL. There's Dan coming into the pits. So Dan into the pits from a set of hard compound of tyres. V5 HRL coming around the final corner just in behind Schiaparelli, who is under pressure now from the Brit, the current championship leader, who leads by 11 points coming into the 13 points coming into this. Dan is into the pits early on a set of hard compound of tyres, and there's damage actually for V5 HRL. He must have got caught at the front end of one of the rear end of the cars, and I have a feeling it might have been either Sebo or Schiaparelli as we ride on board with this battle for fifth. In the meantime, Dakka out in front by 4/10 of a second, Campbell in second, Aura Crafty in third. They're separated by around 1.4, 1.5 seconds. Sebo in fourth, Schiaparelli in fifth. As I say, the Mercedes of V5 HRL right on the back with Matt Dutchface, Dan and Mark, who has had another off. That is through the Dunlop curve. Now as they come through Tertre Rouge once again, Schiaparelli just cuts the inside of the corner. Might pick up another 5/10 penalty as a result of that. V5 HRL now on the inside line with much greater speed than Mercedes. He has got the move done already down the straight, but is Schiaparelli going to come back at him? Game Boys and Nico, thank you for trying. Of course, and the slowdown finally came up, so Schiaparelli's still got 1.5 seconds worth of slowdown. V5 HRL got nothing, and they're side by side running down the straight here. has been right on board with the front, and that is Schiaparelli going much later on the brakes. Round the outside, there is a randomer that has joined the lobby. Onyx Smur, please get out of here. V5 Etrol and Schiaparelli, though, 5th and 6th, currently out on track. 2.5 tenths separating with V5 Etrol and Schiaparelli fighting it out. And the two QBR boys going to do it for the lead of the race. Now a 10th and 3/4 of a second between these two. Campbell leads the way on Dakar, so they've actually swapped positions. Campbell and Dakar, ooh, a little bit of contact. Or Crafty serving up his slow down. He's got 3.3 seconds worth of slow down penalties. He has got to serve that up, of course. Otherwise, he will be maintaining that towards the end of the race. Campbell, Dakar, in the meantime, leading the way with Overcrafty in 3rd. Ibo, FIFA Hercherel, Schiaparelli, McDutchface, Dan, and then Mark right down in the back of the field. And Dakar now has become down towards Mulsanne corner for the 2nd time. Dakar down the inside, the BMW on his fellow compadre. And the two Brits lead the way. Dakar and Campbell swap positions. Campbell with a much better exit though out of Mulsanne corner. Overcrafty in the back of shot. Of course, plenty of improvements being had on this 2nd lap. We are 7 minutes in roughly. Dakar leads, Campbell 2nd, Overcrafty in 3rd. And looking at the mini-map, there is quite a Constantina effect. Onyx Smur has left the room. Thank you very much for that. Dakar, though, has retaken the lead from Campbell. And look at Overcrafty closing in. The Aston Martin, look at the speed of the Aston Martin. 175 mile an hour down into Indianapolis. Could have committed that a little bit more on the brakes there, but the medium compound of tyres beginning to wear away on Overcrafty. A little bit of a slide there from Campbell just ahead. Overcrafty doing a good job in 3rd position. V5 Etrol and Schiaparelli go side by side through Indianapolis. V5 Etrol going around the outside of Schiaparelli here. These two fighting it out, and a good move there by V5 Etrol around the outside through Indianapolis. On Schiaparelli, he gets the move done. He's up to 5th position. McDutchface down, of course, on a fresh set of the medium compound of tyres is, of course, on the back of McDutchface. So the Dutchman and the German about to do battle here for 8th position out on track. Lead battle still separated by 2 tenths. We'll come on to that in just a moment. Mark still going around. My Little Pony struggling at the back. McDutchface, though, being chased down by Dan. This is for 7th position. McDutchface has got 2.3 second worth of penalties that he has got to serve. Dan trying to lunge it up the inside, and the McLaren not quite. And the LRT driver right on the back. A little bit of a frame drop. It does happen through the Porsche curves. McDutchface holds on to 7th, down into 8th. Campbell and Dakar have swapped positions, and Dakar, in fact, has got a 2nd slowdown penalty, which means I think he's probably run a little bit wide coming through the end of the lap there, and that was through the Porsche curves and into New Maison Blanche. But Campbell leads the way, sets the new fastest lap of the race for 1.7, about 1.3 seconds off my time on a set of soft compound of tyres. It's not too bad. Campbell does lead the way though. The two BMWs out 1st and 2nd, Overcrafty now losing time in 3rd, but staying ahead of Sebo in 4th. V5 Etrol in 5th, Schiaparelli now 6th. Still the battle going on between McDutchface and Dan. The McLaren quite strong in a straight line. He is going to try and lunge it, I think, down the inside here and through the Dunlop the curve they go. And now down into the braking zone of the S's. And McDutchface hanging on just about through there. Dan 5 tenths off him, still right on the back. And it's 2nd. We'll focus then on this battle for 7th between McDutchface and Dan. Good to see, of course, ILRT represented within League of Europe. Of course, we are a high-reaching league with a lot of contacts we can use to great effect. Dan right on the back of McDutchface, doing ILRT proud here, and he's right on the back. Look at this. Now down the straight, who has the greater straight line speed down the straight, the Mercedes or the McLaren? And I think just about it is going to be the McLaren. He's edged past him. McDutchface will slot in back into the slipstream. He'll come back at him down with his left indicator on. Not sure if he has realised that he's got that on. They're catching Schiaparelli ahead as well. This is for 7th and 8th. Currently out on track. Dan has got that move done. Runs a little bit deep though into the first chicane, but parks it nicely on the apex. A little bit of contact with the back end. McDutchface, in fact, has got rear damage, possibly off a move that Dan pulled off, and that was earlier in the race. But back out in front, 7 tenths of a second separating Campbell and Dakar currently out on track. 9 tenths currently the gap between these two. Of course, if you do want to get in touch, League of Europe, in the comment section, you can, of course, do that, and of course I will read them out over this stream. I'm just going to try and keep up with some of the thingy. Nico's pit lane glitch will take my last 3 Division 3 races. That's a bit of a high statement as Dakar is off through Mulsanne corner. Dakar has just lost the back end there through Mulsanne corner. The rears on the mediums giving way. They can only last really 3 or 4 laps with this tyre wear especially. So now Dakar leads over Crafty, and they're side by side running down the straight towards Indianapolis. And over Crafty will slot in into that second position. Nico's West McLaren livery, yeah. Brilliant livery, I think, as well, that Nico has got. Sadly, he won't be participating in this race. They are doing some karting. I'm just having a look on Discord. As Campbell trying to lunge it down the inside of Overcrafty, but Overcrafty holds it firm down the outside into Indianapolis. Once again, only on lap 3. We're not going to get many laps out of this race, to be honest. Campbell leads the way, Overcrafty second, Dakar in third, with Ibo holding firm in fourth, doing a great race so far. In the Lexus, if I was him, I'd be pitting now, because those softs are absolutely dead. They can only last 2 laps around this track. They need to last a lot longer. 4 or 5 laps you want to be aiming for with fuel, with saving fuel as well. Viva Virtual in 5th. Dan in 6th, Chapelletti in 7th, so they have actually swapped positions. Dan is up past Chapelletti, that is for 6th position. Chapelletti down in 7th. There is Mac Dutchface on the back of him. This tight battle, Chapelletti dropping through the field. Nothing like Formula 1, I'm afraid, for Chapelletti. Mac Dutchface on the outside line. Chapelletti just coming across to try and defend his line a little bit. But I think it's all in vain, really, as Mac Dutchface has got the move done as we come through the Porsche curves. And Mac Dutchface has got the move done. So the 2 Germans going at it for 7th and 8th. And Mark still down the back. And we'll actually go on board with him with a cockpit's view. There we go. Making up for lost time. And looking through the Porsche curves. Look at this, Chapelletti fighting the back end through here. Really, really nice through the back end. Let's just do something that, of course, I'm seeing. We'll have a look at the lap chart. That is just to give an indicator to where everyone was in terms of positions. The drop down in the lines means they've lost positions. The gain up in positions means that they are gained positions. Just a little bit of an insight there to the lap chart. Campbell has set the fastest lap of the rest with a 4:03.2. Last lap, his fastest lap of 4:01.714. Just a little bit of an insight there into some of the features that commentary does offer here on GT Sport. Beautiful live timing screen for you guys to see. Campbell, though, leads the way, 7.5 seconds from Dakar in second. Those mediums looking a little bit more worn than Campbell's, probably about 2-3% more worn on the rears, and Dakar has just picked up another second worth of penalties. Can be a bit of a track here for picking up a lot of penalties. And Dakar has got that. So was Overcrafty, 2.3 seconds compared with 5.2 seconds. Of course, if they don't serve it up before the end of the race, they will carry that plus another second and round it up to the second above. That their time will be rounded up, so they could lose potential positions. That's why you slow down. You slow down as soon as possible. That's what I do, anyways. In the meantime, Sir Ibo has dropped positions. He has came in for a fresh set of softs. That is why he has dropped positions. Chapelletti on the back of him. The Audi should be just within the slipstream, I think. He is Chapelletti. Has to be within the slipstream to get closer. And again, much later on the brakes, you can carry the cars through here at quite a pace. And Sebo managing to get it very late on the brakes. 3.2 seconds worth of penalties. It's just got another 5/10 for cutting the inside of the first chicane there. Chapelletti chasing him down though in the meantime. Crafty now on the back of Dakar. And looking at the mediums, Crafty just wearing his tyres a little bit too much. Remember, a fun fact, well, not a fun fact, but a Jamesy fact that I'm going to throw in tonight: always go and lift and coast through the corners. It does save your tyres, it does save your fuel. Lift and coast through the corners, it does save you a lot of work, especially with the tyres and especially with the fuel. It's the best thing to do, and it's what you want to do if you want to win this race here at Le Mans and drive a successful lap around Le Mans. As we see Viva Retro going slightly wide on a set of hard compound of tyres. That is on a set of hard, as I say. Dan is in 5th at the minute, Dutchface in 6th. Sebo ran the outside of Chapelletti through into 7th. Sebo ran the outside there on soft compound tyres. Chapelletti on a set of hard compound tyres. Mark in 9th position as well. I am just going to back off commentary for a minute because I can hear something that is going on outside. I don't know what it is. I'll be back in a minute though. Just looking at the comments, Fredbank coming in and saying Daka offered 10 quid to whoever doesn't get penalties, but he's collecting them like they're rare collectibles. Yeah, I think he's collecting them like he's on Pokemon Go here tonight, to be honest, Daka. He's there in second position, 4.9 seconds worth of penalties, as I say. Well, Crafty is in third, trying to hunt him down. We should see the first round of pit stops coming now. Campbell in fourth position, in first, currently out on track, and he's got a second slowdown coming into the pits. And he doesn't decide to come into the pits. He's got less than 25 litres left, but with those medium compound of tyres, he has got to come into the pits this lap. Daka is not. Again, a bit of a mistake here, I think. Pitting, or Crafty definitely should have came into the pits. Look at the fronts, they're going to be blistering, they're going to be burning there out on track. He's burning excessive rubber there, or Crafty. Viva Vetrell has got better sense, rather with the fuel than the tyres. He's into the pits though from fourth position. Dan is undercut Viva Vetrell and now is technically in the net lead of the race, I do believe. So Viva Vetrell into the pits. There is Dan coming through. McDutchface is in as well. So Ibo is not into the pits. He's just, of course, came out the pits last lap around. He's on a set of softs. He's now up to fifth. Chapelletti with the rear damage. He could have got that fixed within the thingy. There are blue flags ahead. I'm not sure why the blue flags are for. Mark, however, still in ninth position. He's fresh from the pit lane, and the My Little Pony car going round out on track. And probably one of the weirdest, but one of the best liveries you could probably ever see in GT Sport. No rules with the liveries here, by the way. No rules. Fantastic stuff. I'll try and focus on some action that is happening out on track. We'll focus then on the leader, actually, as he comes down towards the chicane. First chicane once again, which, if I can get my French right, is the Lark chicane. The Lark chicane. Now down the Muldown straight once again, and then down to the La Florandière chicane. La Florandière chicane. There's not many French named corners around here, which I think is good. I don't want to be pronouncing. I did the last time I did French was in 2014 when I left school. That was a long time ago, and I probably the only real French that I know is bonjour, and that is it. And I don't want to be saying that either, because I can probably pronounce that wrong as well. League of Europe, yeah, didn't know this existed. It does exist. It does exist indeed. Lucas Adventures coming in and saying, comes back and tells me that Armageddon has occurred. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah. Let's just go with it. Daka in second, Overcrafty third at the moment in time. Dan in fourth, Sebo in fifth, Viva Vetrell in sixth, Dutchface in seventh, Chapelletti in eighth, and Mark in ninth position. I've just got a notification through actually on my iPad, so I'm just going to attend to that. I'll be back in a moment. There's nothing really happening out on track, so it's best to do this now. Back on board, and look at the tyres, they're absolutely shot with Campbell. He is ghosting slightly, that does mean he has served up his slowdown though, and he is coming into the pits very shortly indeed. Daka in second as well will be coming into the pits, so Crafty is in third. Look at how worn the mediums are compared to when we were last round on board with three in front. The last 2 or 3 laps or so, they've really shot the bullet, these mediums, and into the pits comes Campbell from the lead of the race. Daka now in second, or Crafty just running slightly wide there through the exit of into the next sector. He's picked up a second worth of penalties there. There is Dan, chased him down, 1.8 seconds the gap. Is Dan going to come into the pits as well? No, I think I would have tried and gambled there, to be honest. I would have, if I was Dan, I would have probably tried to extend the and go on to a set of mediums or a set of hards, try and get further into the race than possible. Sebo is in 5th. They'll set themselves coping quite well, actually, with him flinging the car through the final chicane. Campbell back out in front, however, though, 3.7 seconds, and really he has dominated affairs so far out in front. With 22 minutes gone, roughly, Campbell leads, Dan second, Sebo in third, Viva Vetrol now in 4th, however he won't be because Dakka's just on the way out of the pits. There is Aura Crafty about to exit the pit lane as well, so Viva Vetrol goes past the pit lane in 5th. Aura Crafty is going to be coming across the line in 6th position. He will. There is McDutchface, and there is McDutchface actually. There is Aura Crafty just coming out of the pits ahead of him. So McDutchface settles into that 7th position, but he has got a lap pressure tyres than Aura Crafty. Those cold medium compound tyres are going to be there for Aura Crafty's taking, and McDutchface right on the back of him. Much warmer tyres. They've really freshened up over the last lap or so. And he's trying to get him down the inside, coming through towards Tertre Rouge now at the end of the first sector. He'll go through the first sector and he's 2 tenths up on his personal best here, McDutchface. And again, we'll focus on this battle. We'll go on board the lap chart in just a moment, give you guys a real insight into how the positions have changed over the last couple of laps. There has been a lot happening out on track. As if you just missed that, absolutely scenes. Yeah, absolute scenes indeed. There's a lot of comments which is coming through, which is good to see. A lot of interaction going on there within the comments, which I like. And Aura Crafty and McDutchface just taking this opportunity to just have a slight bit of a slowdown penalty as they come through the chicane once again. We slowly approach the halfway stage here. Of course, this race a little bit late going off, just under 20 minutes late going off, but we have got the action on, which is more important than anything else. Mark in the My Little Pony car. Oh, and he runs right onto the grass. Can he recover the car? Yes, he can. Good recovery there by Mark. My Little Pony doing wonders. Obviously likes the grass as well as the tarmac. Mark in 8th, Chapelletti now in 9th. And he's 1 minute and 55 seconds down. But don't take that literally, because this race is going to still hot up even further. With Dan in 2nd, there's a lot of guys came into the pit over the last lap or 2 laps or so. Dan will have to come into the pit and he will have to save fuel. I highly doubt he is going to get to the end of this lap without running out of fuel. He is probably, you can really see actually, the speed running down the straight. He's actually changing fuel modes down the straight. He is losing time to Campbell at quite a significant rate, which means he is running at a higher fuel mode than the rest. And Dan will have to save up the fuel. He'll be running around fuel mode 4, fuel mode 5, I would think. Fuel mode 1, of course, is pretty much flat out, and you'll get the most power out of the car. But Dan, at the moment, I think is probably going to be running around 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6, possibly. There are 6 different modes that you can have on GT Sport with the fuel. And Dan, at the moment, will have to do wonders, I think, to get that to the end. He might just nick it with a litre or so of fuel left to go. We have got a battle, though, out on track, just in behind. And that is Dakka and Sebo. The Lexus and the BMW once again going to do battle. Sebo on the softs. Dakka obviously coming out in front of him. He was around 2.5 seconds coming out of the pits in front of him. It's now 7/10 the gap, and those softs really coming into play. But I think he should pit now, bite the bullet, and try and do a bit of an undercut here as well. And just looking through some of the other comments that have come through, the last time I did French was in May, and I still don't remember a word. Yeah, just speak about 2014 was the last time I did it. Honestly, it was quite dire, and I failed it. So, comes to show my French knowledge here. Sebo though, right on the back, on a set of soft compound of tyres. I think he should come into the pits. Dan is into the pits with 1 litre of fuel. He's just managed to get to the fuel line, and Sebo into the pits, indicating to come into the pits. He now drifts it through actually quite nicely there, Sebo. And he's out there in 4th position, so he will have to go on to a new set of tyres. I think he'll probably go on to a set of mediums or a set of hards. Of course, you do have to go on to the set of mediums or hards, because it's mandatory, and if you don't, you'll probably get disqualified from the results. Just to warn people there about who might be listening in. McDutchface all Crafty coming across the line. This is actually a battle for 4th. There is Dan just coming out of the pits, And it's going to be very close actually. He's just going to drop in behind. Crafty now 4th, Mac Dutchface now 5th. As a result of Dan coming out of the pits, he's on a set of mediums. So Ibo is coming out of the pits and he's gone on to a set of mediums. Quite wise, he has used his mandatory pit stop to obviously swap on to another set of tyres. That is all done for him. He will be getting disqualified come the end of the race. But Dan will really focus on this battle for 4th though. I am trying to give you guys as many onboard shots as possible. We'll take it actually from the hood of the car, and we see Mac Dutchface actually just getting caught in the sausage curb. That will be a penalty for him. 5.3 currently. That should be a penalty for him, I think. Yeah, 5/10 penalty there for Mac Dutchface. Dan is now chasing him down. You will really get to see from a driver's point of view these camera angles as Mac Dutchface is now attacking Crafty down the straight, using that slipstream to great effect, pulls out of the slipstream now. Dan running behind, catching them both with a double toe. Mac Dutchface is into 4th though, and he will take the defensive line and defend off Crafty here. Down into the first chicane, a little bit of contact. Crafty just braking a little bit later than probably what he even expected. Mac Dutchface is into 4th. Very clean move, and you can see the damage on the rear end of the car there actually for Crafty, as he must have picked that up further on earlier on in the race. Dan now chasing him, and you can really see the slipstream toll being picked up. You can see the car beginning to get closer to the car ahead, the McLaren on the Aston Martin, but Crafty within the toe of Mac Dutchface ahead. Dan is pulling out to try and eye up a move down the inside here into the second chicane. Not going to happen, however, and Dan holds on into 6th position. Let's focus then on a driver's point of view. This is from a driver's point of view, and we'll focus on board then with Crafty. If I can get a lovely cockpit cam, there it is in the Vantage. We can have a look around as well, which is fantastic. And Crafty now running down the straight, reaching 6th gear, about 260 kilometers an hour, which equates to 168, 169, 170. A little bit of contact there actually. Crafty down under the brakes, and Mac Dutchface has gone straight on. I'm not sure if he messed up his braking point there, if that was contact. I thought it was contact between Crafty and Mac Dutchface, and he does get a 2-second penalty actually as a result of that. So Crafty making contact with Mac Dutchface, contact made. He will have to give up that position eventually out on track. And that ends a little bit of that battle, to be honest. We'll still focus on Dan though, trying to chase down Crafty, and you can see really hunting him down. 175 mile an hour now down into Indianapolis, going a lot slower here, Crafty, as Dan is up the inside, and that, picture perfect. Read that scenario completely right. Dan is through, and he's up to 4th position. Fantastic move there by Dan on Crafty. Crafty now 5/10 off him as they run down the straight once again. We'll take on board. We'll take actually the broadcast cam with this. Crafty on the back of Dan. Viva Vetrol trying to chase down Dakar as well. That gap is roughly 3 seconds between those two, just ahead. And we are nearly through halfway here in League of Europe GT Sport. As I say, starting a little bit late, and we are only halfway through. This race is actually going quite quick. Campbell leads, Dakar second, V5 Vetrol in 3rd, Dan in 4th, and look through the Porsche curves as they come now. V5 Vetrol has got the, Dan has got the measure of Crafty. I do apologise. Dan has got the measure of Crafty coming out of the Porsche curves, and he picks up a 5/10 penalty for overrunning the corner. V5 Vetrol is into the pit. This could be a master plan here actually from V5 Vetrol. So he's into the pit. 402.3 his personal best lap last time around. This will be, I would imagine, for a set of new medium compound of tyres, and he is going to try and undercut Dan here. That is the purpose. We've seen it before with V5 Vetrol this season. Forget where it was, but he did pull it off, which was great to see, and he's trying to pull off the same here as we go into the halfway stage. Fresh set of mediums, and he's out the pits. So here we go, V5 Vetrol out the pits, and he's around 5 seconds roughly off Mac Dutchface coming out of there. There was position, I thought there was a position swap there, there's not. V5 Vetrol coming out of the pits, that's what it was. And there's nothing really happening out on track, apart from this battle for 3rd, as I say. Dan and Crafty, Mac Dutchface in 5th position as well, but Dan in 3rd. Crafty in 4th, Mac Dutchface in 5th position. They're about a second off as they come down the straight once again. Down the Mulsanne straight. And they are really, really finding things a bit tricky with the tyres, especially out on track. Fresh layer medium for Dan, or Trusty will have to pit in a little bit sooner. He's got 8.1 seconds worth of penalties. He has got, of course, serve that up. Otherwise, he will be dropping down the order left, right, and centre. 0.5 of a second as they come into the first chicane. That's a complete mess up of the chicane there for Mauro Crafty. Runs wide. There'll be another penalty, I think. McDutchface now chasing him down on a wearing set of mediums. 8.1 seconds now for Mauro Crafty with the slow down penalty. And hunting him down is McDutchface. Now 0.8 of a second off. And remember, coming into tonight, there was only 13 points separating these standings. It was V5 Etrol leading the way into tonight's race, 151 points. Dan on 138. Game Boys on 109, not participating due to connection issues. Campbell on 89, currently leading the way out on track. And he's having a wild run of things. And even though the hards can go quite far, the fuel can't. That's what we're seeing there. McDutchface still on the back of all Crafties. They run down the straight once again. 0.5 of a second separating. That is V5 Etrol just in the background of shot. You might have just seen him in the background of shot in the Mercedes. As the other Mercedes of McDutchface, or Crafty gets all out of shape through Mulsanne corner. Runs wide, slightly onto the gravel. This is going to get McDutchface a little bit of a look in here. Over Crafty under pressure now. The Brit and the German about to battle down towards Indianapolis. With the slipstream, this would favour the Mercedes. The Mercedes is quicker in a straight line than an Aston Martin. And now, McDutchface down on the inside line, not even before Indianapolis. Or Crafty trying to defend the position, but I'm sorry, but it is in vain. And McDutchface has got the position signed, sealed and delivered. He's up to 4th position. Or Crafty down to 5th. But still trying to fight the car. He will have to come into the pits though. Even though the fuel is under 50 litres and he can't make another 2 laps out of this, he will have to come into the pits because those tyres are going to be shot next lap around. I trust you on that. Trust me on that. It will be shot next time around. And I've had that from personal experience as well. Campbell leading the way. He's going to be coming into the pits then with 27 minutes to go. The Brit leads the way. Campbell into the pits. The BMW 22 seconds ahead of Dakar, who's on a slightly different strategy compared to Campbell ahead. And Campbell with 1 litre of fuel remaining is into the pits to lead the way here out on track. And I have a feeling once he comes out of the pits, he'll just be in behind Dakar, who I've got to say has really excelled tonight. There's quite a few drivers that's really excelled here out on track, to be honest. And Dakar currently will lead the way. As long as Campbell doesn't get out the pits in front of him, it's going to be a QBR 1-2, and we're going to get a different winner of the season once again here tonight. There is Dakar just shooting out in front, and Campbell now out in second. So QBR 1-2, they look pretty much set on, I think, for 1st and 2nd at this stage. But there is a rampaging V5 Etrol, 20 seconds behind these guys. He's on a set of mediums. Campbell's decided to go on for a set of mediums as well, so that cancels out that. McDutchface is into the pits as well. He was set in a purple final sector. Didn't happen, of course, because he came into the pits. McDutchface on goals, another set of the mediums, I think. Yeah, set of the mediums, 83 litres of fuel. He'll be going splash and dash towards the end of the race. And McDutchface out the pits in 6th position. Sabo in 7th. Mark now in 8th, as Schiaparelli has had a few mistakes, I think, out on track. Schiaparelli, obviously, next season is going to be his season, I think, for GT3s. He's just going to learn how to drive the game and ensure that he has the best possible time of things. He has got damage as well, and he's off again. And that is that for Schiaparelli, who won't, however, be lapped, which is good to see. He's still got about another minute and a half until that happens. Dakar, 3.6 seconds out in front from Campbell, with Dan in 3rd. Over Crafty in 4th. V5 Etrol in 5th. There's not really much going on out on track, so we'll focus our attentions on the championship leader, V5 Etrol. Currently, if my maths is right coming into this, if the positions stayed as they were, V5 Etrol will still lead the championship on 161 points. Dan would close in by 5 points on 153 points if they stand as they are. which knowing our luck probably won't. So just to give a bit of a live maths update regarding the championship, there are still possibly 4 races to go in the season. Circuit de la Sarthe, then Nürburgring 24 hours next week, which I won't be here for, by the way. I am going to be away for a few days next week. And then I'll be back to round off the season, of course, in the possible additions of Spa and Laguna Seca, as Viva Vetcherol is on the back. The Mercedes right on the back of the Aston Martin serves up the final 10th slowdown penalty. Robert Crafty has been picking up penalties left, right and centre here. 9.8 seconds the gap, 0.5 of a second separating these two out on track, and 20 seconds to Mac Dutchface in behind in 6th position as well. As we run down the straight once again towards Indianapolis, and Viva Vetcherol just getting let into, and Robert Crafty doesn't want to give the position up lightly, but I'm sorry again, it is going to be job done for Viva Vetcherol. There's no way that Robert Crafty can defend that. Viva Vetcherol up into full position, want to make life hard for himself, and makes life for himself hard a little bit more there by going into the gravel slightly. Viva Vetcherol now into 4th position, or Crafty into 5th. He should be pitting in, I think, this lap. Possibly go for a set of softs, and you never know, you could be within striking distance of a podium. Who knows? 3.5 seconds though, the gap for the lead. Dakar, Campbell out on track. The hard's beginning to wear away. Dakar really attacking the last sector here at Circuit de la Sarthe, better known of course to you and me as Le Mans. We come through with about 15 seconds to go to the end of this lap. Only going to start onto lap 10. We will get, I think 15 laps. I'm going to bank it at for this track. About 4 minutes, 4 minutes 3, 4 minutes 4 a lap. Yeah, I think this should be game on for around a 16 lap race. That is what I'm going to put that, 15-16 laps. We're on to lap 10 now, as I say. Dakar leads 2.2 seconds, Campbell in second, the 2 BMWs first and second, but Dan is ahead of Viva Vetcherol out on track, ahead of him in the standings, currently out on track. He won't be ahead of him in the standings, however, as it stands. Dan, by my calculations, needs to get the win, and Viva Vetcherol needs to stay where he is in 4th for there to be a tie in the championship lead. And it will go on to count back for the amount of race wins, of course, and I think that will go to Viva Vetcherol. There is a position change further down the field. Oh, there was on my screen anyways. I think it might have been Mac Dutchface on Saibo, but Saibo is in 7th. I'm not sure. I think GT Sport might be having a bit of a mare here, but battle for the lead between the 2 BMWs will probably approach around 18 minutes to go at the end of this lap, which will be around 4 or 5 laps possibly out on track still left to go. Dakar, Campbell, let's see battle the 2 KVR boys dominating out in front, 11.6 seconds over Dan. That gap has completely stabilised, that gap, and Campbell with the fastest first sector by 0.2 of a second. However, I may remind that they're not as quick as some of the other guys, as me in practice, at 4 minutes 0.3 on a set of soft compound of tyres. Mark into the pits on a set of soft compound of tyres. He is into the pits, and really that left front should have been popped, to be honest. He's into the pits though. Get to see his beautiful image, My Little Pony for Mark. Best stream moment, I think that is. Mark is going to come out of the pits in 8th position. We'll focus then on the battle for the lead, because Campbell is right on the back of him. Dakar running down the straight in towards Indianapolis, into Mulsanne corner, and Campbell up the inside sailed it down the inside, and he's got the move done on Dakar, who I think might have been serving up a bit of his slow down penalty, and I think he's probably served that. Actually, he has. Dakar has served that slow down penalty. They're running a special 1-year anniversary livery as well, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be Wednesday the 17th of November. They are going to be hosting their special 1-year anniversary stream that they're going to be having. I have been given the privilege of commentating on GT Sport for the KVR team for that 1 year anniversary. Thank you very much to Game Boys for allowing me the opportunity for that, and to the QVR guys as well for giving me the opportunity on that. F1 already covered, you will be able to see that as well. GT Sport will be streamed. Don't know where it will be streamed, but it will be streamed. And of course, we will have F1 streamed as well. That'll be a different commentator for that, so I'm not doing a double duty on that, I'm afraid. But Campbell still leads the way, 0.5 of a second from Dakar. That gap will increase as they come through the Porsche curves once again. And 1.1 seconds, you can see really how much difference the tyres actually make around this track. Dakar, with a wearing set of hard compound of tyres, is just being outmastered, outplayed really here by Campbell as they come through that section. 0.5 of a second penalty picked up there by Campbell. Dakar then will come into the pits. And he's 14 seconds ahead of Dan, actually. So that gap has increased significantly. I think Dan has had a moment somewhere out on track for that gap to be as it is. The left rear certainly appears to me that it has worn out slightly. And is he coming into the pits? No, not coming into the pits there. V5 Etrol, however, is into the pits. This adds a little bit of interest and a little bit of intrigue now into the championship battle. V5 Etrol into the pits. He was only a couple of seconds off, and it was around 3 seconds I meant last coming into the pits. Or Crafty's into the pits. Somehow, how has he got that car around without any of those tyres puncturing? Goodness me, he's into the pits though. McDutchfest now going to be out in 3rd position. I think V5 Etrol on the exit of the pits now. Sorry, Dakar on the exit of the pits, he's out in 3rd position. McDutchface is in 4th. V5 Etrol will be out in 5th. He is just about to exit the pits now. McDutchface already gone through. V5 Etrol in 5th. Or Crafty will be coming out of the pits very shortly. He's just been dropped off his from the pit stop, and he is going to be coming into the pits in. Oh, he is in the pits in 6th position. Sable is also in, so that just gives him a little bit more breathing room there for him to come out of the pits. Not really, again, much going on out on track. 17 minutes to go, just over. There's Mark in 8th position, recently came into the pits. He's going to try and hunt down Sir Ibo. And Chapelletti's still going around in 9th position. He has struggled a lot out on track, but he's doing a good job. And I've just noticed, by the way, new fastest lap of the race, McDutchface with a 4:05.81. Let's have a look then at the lap chart. And let's have a look actually at the timing monitor to really see what the time gaps are. These do of course change, but that is the gap currently in the timing monitor. 17.7 seconds between Campbell and Dan, 15.9 between Dakar and McDutchface, between Dan and Dakar, 1.6 between Dakar and McDutchface. As I say, the gap's changing as they come through the sectors. V5 Etrol is 5.6 seconds behind McDutchface. Or Crafty just came into the pits, so Ebo wins in 7th, Mark in 8th, Chapelletti in 9th. But that is just an intriguing thing to have a look at the timing monitor and just to see how good the sectors actually are. You can see Chapelletti setting green, 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 green in the first 4 sectors. Is that going to go green again? Let's find out. Mark has just came through the first sector, so that updates. And Chapelletti just about to come across the line now. Does set a green final sector, so a new personal best first sector there. Final sector there for Chapelletti, a 4:13.2. But, and yeah, let's have a look at the lap chart actually. This is from lap 11. And Campbell currently leading the way. There is Dan in 2nd, McDutchface 3rd, Dakar 4th. There is V5 Etrol in 5th, Aura Crafty 6th. The guys that aren't really on this lap chart screen have just came into the pits. So Ebo in 7th, Mark in 8th, Chapelletti in 9th, and the lines that they're going past are actually the sectors. They are the sectors represented on that. All really fascinating. In the meantime, McDutchface and Dakar are now battling it out. The hard compound of tyres against the medium compound of tyres here. McDutchface will be coming into the pit soon with 15 minutes to go. Dakar on the back, hunting him down. To Indianapolis they come once again. And McDutchface doing a good job out on track with Dakar currently sitting there in that 4th position out on track. And he has of course just came into the pit, so the tyres are not wearing out as good as what he might have liked, which is good to see. And it's going to be really intriguing to see how this gets on and how this race progresses, of course, after this race. Thank you everyone, by the way, for tuning in and witnessing what has been a bit of a bore, to be honest, of a race. I have tried to struggle to think of things to say during this commentary, but through the Porsche curves, Mac Dutchfest really attacking with Dakar right on the back. 1.1 seconds separating these two now out on track, and Dakar under pressure here from Mac Dutchface has really found him out. Dan is into the pit. V5 Hetcherell is only 4.6 seconds behind, and Dakar with a 1.5 second penalty. I mean, that's a bit harsh, to be honest. Oh, and he's completely messed up the chicane. Goodness me. Dan is into the pits though. The Dutchman into the pits. Campbell leads the way by 31.5 seconds. He's got pretty much a free pit stop over the rest of the field here. That's what we're talking about here. Dan in 5th position, currently on to lap 11. As I say, the leader's on to lap 12. He'll be on to lap 12 now as he comes out the pits. Dan out the pits in 5th. And that swaps over the standings at the minute. As it stand, V5 Hetcherell would lead the championship by 15 points. It'll be 163 to 148. So that'll be 15 points separating the two out on track. But again, Dakar just been caught flat-footed through Tertre Rouge. 1.9 seconds separating these guys out on track. 3.3 seconds worth of penalties now for the slowdown. Of course, if he doesn't serve that before the end of the race, that will be up to 4 seconds. That will be up to 4 seconds out on track. Campbell, though, leading the way. He's had pretty much this race sewn up since the start. A very weird start, granted that. Nico and Game Boys having connection problems. Nothing could have been done about that. We did spend quite an amount of time, about 15-20 minutes, trying to ensure that they got a fair chance to get within the lobby. And sadly their connections, I think, gave way in the end. Mac Dutchface in 2nd, Dakar in 3rd though in the meantime, V5 Hetcherell in 4th, Dan in 5th, there is Aura Crafty in 6th, Mark in 7th with Saibo on the back. So we have got a bit of a battle going on here between League of Europe's prodigal son, and Saibo launches up the inside. He knew he was in completely the wrong gear. Saibo, yeah, we've been saying sorry, I do apologise about that. He has got rear and front end damage now, Saibo. Just launching it down the inside, had a lot more speed there than Mark. Mark, I don't think, expecting it, and probably expected him to go a little bit quicker, actually, Saibo through there. A little bit of contact, racing incident, nothing should be done about that, and Saibo is right on the back of Mark once again. A 5/10 slowdown there is a bit harsh. Goodness me. Slowdown, obviously the penalties are on strict, so that's probably why they're getting picked up. Saibo now will try and struggle past Mark. Even with this damage, he is right on the back of him as they now come down through Tertre Rouge once again. Saibo trying to control the car as much as possible. Mark has a bit of a slide, nearly a Tokyo drift through there by Mark. With 11 minutes to go though, Campbell leads the way. He's on the other side of the track, about to come through the Porsche curves. Saibo right on the back though, 7/10 of a second behind Mark as they run down the straight. But look at the speed, that damage really affecting the car out on track, and you can see Mark beginning to pull away now out on track. As at the minute they come now down into the first chicane, Mark 1.3 seconds out and will begin to pull that gap out, especially down the straight. It is going to hurt Saibo even more. Try and pick up on a possible battle then. Mac Dutchface will be coming into the pits. He will be able to see this car actually out to the end of the race. Campbell is into the pits as well from the lead of the race. He'll be out of the pits soon. So Campbell leads the way coming out of the pits. Coming into the pits, I should say, not out of the pits. Campbell out of the pits. 10 minutes to go. And as I say, we should get 14, 15, 16 laps out of this race. In around then, as a jet flies over my house. Fantastic. Mac Dutchface into the pits. Dakar then in 3rd, but Campbell will have the lead of the race coming out of the pits. Yeah, soft compound of tyres as well Has he underdone that, I think, with the fuel? 69 litres of fuel will not get him towards the end of the race. Guarantee you that now. I don't think that'll get him to the end of the race. The fuel in the BMW wears away quite quickly. But the gap, 11 seconds out of the pits for Campbell to Dakar. And Dakar has mastered in second. But V5 chasing down a set of soft compound of tyres. Of course, quite expensive laps around here. 4-minute laps round here. McDuck has set the new fastest lap of the race, as I've alluded to before. The 4-minute 0.5, that is only 2/10 off my lap that I did round here. Maybe I might put in an entry for next season for GT3s. You might see me out on track next season. I'm considering it. So, you'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see on that one. V5 though on the back of Dakar. 1.5 seconds separating out on track. We'll just flick between the camera angles once again. To run down the straight. Dakar. There's V5 beautiful blue and gold livery that he's been running for the past few races. Now down into the braking zone. Serves a bit more of a slow down penalty. He's got 1.8 seconds worth. Dakar's got 2.9 seconds worth. And I have a feeling that's going to be another 5/10 there for Dakar coming out of the second chicane there. Of the first chicane, I do apologise. V5 chasing him down in that third position. And 8 minutes to go out on track. Campbell leads the way. He's dominated affairs out in front. Dakar in second. V5 in third. I'd happily take over comms. I'll try to be as half as good as you are, says Breadbank. Sadly, there won't be any baguettes in the comments section. Within the commentary box, I should say. There won't be any baguettes or any paninis coming into my commentary box. Again, terrible bread puns. Terrible bread puns. 0.7 of a second though, separating V5 and Dakar. Obviously, I have tried to find quite a lot of stuff to talk about here in the stream, and you can probably appreciate why, if I've been repeating myself, I probably have been, why I have been doing that. And it's because it's a long race, it's a long track. Could have still well be like next week for Nürburgring, even though I'm not going to be here for Nürburgring next week. Goodness knows what the commentator will be like next season as well. But at this moment in time, Dakar right on the back of V5 sorry, V5 right on the back of Dakar, 13.1 seconds to Campbell just ahead. And Dan trying to hunt these guys down as well. V5 on a set of softs, not really making any impact, to be honest, on Dakar. He's on a set of hards. V5 on a set of softs. They will only begin to come alive probably on the next lap. They'll only begin to come alive on the next lap, I would think. 1.1 seconds the gap. He is within the slipstream. He is beginning to come and chase him down. But looking at this stage, it looks like Campbell is going to be taking the win of this race. And after this lap, I think we're going to have another 2 more laps to go after this lap has been completed. So we will get 15 laps out of this race. We predicted the 15 laps. Your boy did. Your boy MGC Sport did in the commentary box. V5 chasing down Dakar, and again Dakar not really serving up the best speed through there. V5 trying to chase him down, now just dipping under a second as they come down into the braking zone once again. And V5 actually just fell off the throttle slightly there, just to lift and coast. That's what you guys should be doing out on track. But cost him time. Dakar gets a better run out of the corner. On the exit of the corner though, V5 applies the power and puts the hammer down once again. 2.7 his lap there on a set of soft compound of tyres. And 1.1 seconds separating. Anything going on further down the field, nothing to write home about. Further down the field, Schiaparelli is still struggling at the back, but he's still continuing on, and that's what we like to see in League of Europe. People continuing on. So Ibo is just in the back. And he is getting ghosted. I don't know why he's getting ghosted. Probably because he's got a slow down penalty. They go side by side down the straight. That is not for position, however. That is to purely unmap himself. With just under 5 minutes to go, Dakar just runs wide there and picks up another penalty. 2.3 seconds worth of penalties now for Dakar. 1.5 for V5 will go on board then with Viva Etrel. This is from his cockpit, this is from the driver's point of view, and there, just going off camera shot, is Dakar, and it's job done for Viva Etrel. The softs, the much better run through Tertre Rouge, running down the Mulsanne straight. Oh, and Dakar's trying to go around the outside into the first chicane. He's on the inside line, and he pulls it back surely. They goes within inside of each other, and Viva Etrel hangs on. Dakar very brave to go around the outside, much later on the brakes there. And Dakar, he could have pulled off one of the best moves I think I've ever seen into the first chicane. Not quite. I have done a similar move to that before in a race, but they run side by side now down the Mulsanne straight with 4 minutes to go. The battle for second is on. Viva Etrel and Dakar. Dakar much later on the brakes, down into the chicane, and I think he's got job done. Down the inside, Viva Etrel still there, and still side by side. Oh, thank God the ghosting system was there. That could have been utter contact there from Dakar and Viva Etrel. Thank God the ghosting system has done its job on this game for once. And Dakar now, Viva Etrel trying to break the toll. That is Dan in behind as well. 8.1 seconds off. These two beginning to battle could bring him into play. Who knows about that? But unbelievable. Again, Dakar late on the brakes. Viva Etrel takes a much better line through there. Mark is into the pits, probably to go for fastest lap. My Little Pony struggling around out on track. Sebo is also out on track, and I have a feeling there has been contact there between Sebo and Ciappellelli. That's why you're seeing Sebo in ghost mode and Ciappellelli there. I have a feeling they were probably texting each other on Discord as a result of that. Dakar on the back of Viva Etrel, and again Dakar trying to have a look at the inside into Indianapolis. Not quite, but Dakar right on fire here on the set of hards. Viva Etrel will get those easily to the end, those set of softs, but the set of hards are going to be working at a much better temperature compared to the set of softs ahead of Viva Etrel. Dakar, I think, is going to take second, and it's going to be a QBR 1-2. As long as he serves up that penalty, 1.5 seconds, 1.4. If they both serve it up within the same point, they could serve it up now down the straight, and honestly, they'd still be within second, and they'll still be about 5 seconds ahead of Dan, I would imagine. They come through the Porsche curves once again. Slight ghosting there from Dakar, just to prove that he has served a little bit more of his slow down to come through the Porsche curves once again. And Viva Etrel, my voice begins to go. Campbell is through the final couple of corners. He will begin the final lap then out on track. Campbell will begin the final lap out on track. Now he does, and it sets a new fastest lap as well. 0.4 of a second quicker, and he's suddenly quicker than me on a set of soft compound tyres. Mine was done on a Ford Mustang though, you've got to remember that. Viva Etrel in second, Dakar in third. Dakar just beginning to lose time now to the fellow Brit ahead. 1.2 seconds, and again Viva Etrel just trying to break the slight amount of toll that he might have. However, without if you're more than a second away from the car ahead, you do not get toll at all on this game. If you're within, it only really picks it up if you're within like 0.8 of a second to the driver ahead. That is just to prove that the toll is not really that costly on the game. And Viva Etrel 1.6 seconds now ahead of Dakar, who makes another slight mistake. He's got 2.1 seconds worth of penalties as well. And Campbell is on his way to a success here tonight in League of Europe Division 1. That's Saturday. League of Europe tonight. It will be his first win of the season as well. But in the meantime, we hunt on board with a battle for fifth. Dan and McDutchfest. Dan will have to save up fuel on this lap. McDutchfest getting closer to him. 2.1 seconds running down the Mulsanne straight once again. Oh, if I begin to lose my voice and feel a bit sniffly and fluey, but Campbell leads the way down towards the second chicane for the final time. Viva Etrel is through the first chicane for the final time, with Dakar chasing in third. Dan in fourth, holding on firmly for McDutchface, who has got the hammer down, and with the fuel, McDutchface can use it up to the end. He can go flat out to the end. He's got 11.1 seconds worth of penalties, which he needs to serve up. We'll go on board though with Mark, who is going to be coming across the line first out on track. He is in 7th position, so My Little Pony will be finishing in 7th here tonight. League of Europe's weirdest livery ever seen in GT Sport. Don't think anyone can beat that. Come back next week, I think, if you want to have a livery like that. Mark, though, through in 7th position. Saibo and Schiaparelli are still right beside each other as well, and they're fighting it out through the chicanes. But we'll go on board, as I say, with these guys. I don't think much is going to happen ahead, so we'll go on board with these guys further down the field, giving them a bit of airtime. Mark through the final couple of corners, and that is not how you do that. And rightfully so, he's been reset to track as well, and he serves up his slowdown as a result. Karma at the finest there for Mark. You don't get away with that when you're getting round on board from me. Mark across the line to finish in 7th. Does have a 2-second penalty as well. So Ebo and Schiaparelli, something not for position there, going to be finding out further down. However, McDutchface has gone past Dan. McDutchface has gone past Dan. That's for 4th position. Well, right on board. Who was that? That was Daka, sorry. Daka, I thought I had an off. Schiaparelli runs wide. However, we're going to see these two across the line. It's not for position, as I say. So Ebo is in 8th position. A little bit of weaving going on. Possibly a bit of contact between these two that went on earlier. Hopefully, apologies accepted within Discord. And Sir Ebo round the final corner. He wants to make sure he's going to finish in 8th position. With Schiaparelli going to be finishing in 9th as they come across the line. Fair play to them, we come across the line together. Ebo in 8th, Schiaparelli in 9th position. Campbell is now down into the chicane for the final time, and it's going to be his first win of the season, believe it or not. Campbell, unfortunately, not entering the championship picture here, takes a dominant win. Lights the flag victory for Campbell, takes her here in League of Europe GT Sport. V for Vetrol will be 2nd. McDutchface has got 4th, by the way, on Dan. Dan serving up its fuel, you can really see. He might run out of fuel before the end of the race, actually. V for Vetrol will be coming across the line in 2nd, extends his championship lead. Coming into tonight, and that I make it at an 8-point difference between them both. Daka across the line in 3rd, McDutchface across the line in 4th. Dan has run out of fuel and is coming across the line in 5th position, but jumps ahead of McDutchface as a result of penalties. So Dan actually gains another 2 points. It's only 6 points difference between Viva Vetrol and Dan out on track. And that makes it then Viva Vetrol on 169 points, Dan on 150 points. 19 points difference coming into the Nürburgring next week, which I again will not be here for next week. Aura Crafty has done a good job out on track. He's going to be coming across the line in 6th position, and this is going to be his best result of the season. Aura Crafty through the final corner, best result of the season for Aura Crafty, and takes 8 points with him. Aura Crafty across the line in 6th. That is it then for League of Europe GT Sport. Apologies about the delay earlier. There's your race result. I will come on to the final grid order in just a moment. I'll get it up. But Campbell from 8th position takes the win here tonight in GT Sport. And I will save the replay and I'll show you guys the race results as well, just to run it through. So it was Campbell who took it, 25.1 seconds win out in front from Viva Vetrol in 2nd, Daka in 3rd with Dan in 4th, McDutchface in 5th with Aura Crafty in 6th, Mark in 7th a lap down, Saibo in 8th a lap down, and VRT Schiaparelli in 9th with 2 laps down as well. The lap chart suggests only Dan and McDutchface getting the positions late on, and that of course changed as a result of the penalties. But for me, I've been JamesHead14. Thank you very much for watching here tonight in League of Europe. You'll see me again on Saturday for Division 1 of League of Europe F1. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.